What's up guys, it's Colby Brock. This is gonna be kind of a different video. I told you guys on my secret Instagram account to ask me deeper questions, more meaningful questions, so that we could just have a conversation right now and hopefully you guys can understand me a little bit better. And it's been a long time since I've just sat down one-on-one and done a Q&A, so if you're looking for a video that's way more exciting or, you know, with a bunch of other people and stuff, this is not that video. It's just gonna be a talk about me and how I've been doing and answering any questions that you guys wanted to know. So I got my phone right here. You guys literally asked like 8,000 questions in an hour, so I'm just gonna go through these. If I didn't respond to you, I'm sorry. There's a lot to go through, but yeah, let's just get started and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. But just looking down at the top comments right now, first one is, where do you think you'd be at if you hadn't met Sam? And guys, this is like a crazy question because I don't think I'd be sitting right here right now if it weren't for Sam. A lot of you guys know this, but Sam was the reason why I started social media and wanted to do this journey in the first place, because I had him to rely on and to fall back on and stuff like that. It was like having a friend to hold you accountable to do things, which made my life 10 times easier. And in Kansas, it wasn't really cool to do stuff like videos or social media and stuff, so I definitely would have not even started Vine or a social media career if it weren't for him holding me accountable and putting me out of my comfort zone and stuff like that. So I have no idea what I'd be doing. Probably something along the lines of just going to college and doing all my core basic classes and trying to figure out something that I enjoy doing, whether it's in business management or advertising or something in that realm. But again, I am so lucky to even be here right now, and it's all because Sam and I had each other and held each other accountable. I've seen this question a million times. WTF Colby Brock says, honestly, when will you get a girlfriend? This is so funny to me because I think there's a lot of people out there who think that I'm currently looking for one or that I really want to be in a relationship right now, which is not the case at all. I think if I meet somebody in my life that is perfect for me and we get along really well and we have a connection that regardless of what we do or if we're both on social media, who cares, whatever, if that connection's real, that's all that really matters to me, and I'm not really searching for that. I feel like it's just something that is gonna happen one day, and when it does, I'll be ready. But at the same time, I'm very happy being single, and I actually prefer being single in LA because all the girls that I've met out here suck. So it's like I can't find anybody anyways who I have that real connection with, so I don't know. I think it's funny how people just assume that I need to have a girlfriend just because everybody else in my entire friend group does. But guys, I'm happy living a single life right now, and again, I'm not looking at all, so I don't know. I'm just doing me. Not Alexia Fred says, how do you really feel about fans assuming things about your personal life? I have a love-hate relationship with that, actually. I mean, I don't really find it annoying. Like, I know there's gonna be people, regardless of what I say or do, that are going to make assumptions or opinions about my personal life and stuff like that, which is totally fine. But all I ask is that if people would just let me live my life and figure things out for myself and trust me, and not think that I'm stupid for any decision that I might be making, because what a lot of people forget is that life, especially in LA and off social media, is so much different than how it actually is on social media, which is also kind of like why I like to make videos like this every once in a while, to show like my raw, true personality and just talk one-on-one and open up as much as I possibly can. So again, if you have an opinion about something or you need to tell me about a personal decision I've made in my life, go for it. I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. I actually really enjoy that you guys have my back a lot of the times and want to make sure that everything for me is a-okay, so I appreciate that, but at the same time, it's my life as well. What is something that you majorly struggle with on a day-to-day basis? Whoa, okay. If we're getting deep in this video, we're gonna get deep in this video. I think this changes a lot. I think it just depends on the time and the place. Something I've been struggling with recently is just basically managing everything in my life. Like, I have so much going on and there's so much planned for 2020 that you guys haven't even heard about yet, that it's just been crazy busy behind the scenes, and I don't think a lot of people actually realize that, because you guys just see like when we post and upload new videos to the Sam and Colby channel, to our personal channels, stuff like that, but there's really been a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we can't talk about yet, unfortunately, that we have been working on, and it's just very overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes like I can wake up and not even feel motivated to start my day or complete anything, or just motivated to just get off the couch, honestly, because it's just so much and it feels so overbearing that it's like, oh man, it feels like I need a break, but at the same time, I love like the pace I'm going at, and I love the upward swing right now that Sam and I are on, especially with an amazing year, all thanks to you guys in 2019. But it just can get stressful every once in a while, and so dealing with that, and then dealing with like insecurities, posting myself everywhere online can catch up to you. I've been doing social media now for 6 years, and seeing like the same comments over and over again, and putting yourself out there, and like I've done basically every single embarrassing thing on earth, like on camera. So there's just so many things like that where it kind of gets to you every once in a while. But again, that's kind of what comes with my job, and I'm not complaining at all. It's just one of those things that kind of like sticks with you and resonates with you and makes you think like, oh God, like I wish I didn't post that. But again, it's all good, and I love what I do, and I'm not quitting anytime soon, and it's really not that bad. It usually just depends on the day whether I'm feeling really up or really down. So I'm not really sure why, but some days I'll wake up super motivated and happy towards everybody and very social. Other days I'll wake up and not even leave my couch, not want to talk to anybody, can't even look online at posts that I've made or other posts people are making, just because I don't want to see it. So it really just depends. A couple of questions here, I'm gonna read them both because they're kind of like along the same lines. Just X Narissa says, what's your honest opinion on fame? And then Devil Golbach says, do you ever want to quit social media? I don't think quit is the right word. I think taking a break, yes, and thankfully Christmas is coming up. Actually, when you guys watch this, Christmas has already happened. Whoa, that's weird to think about. But as you guys are watching this, I'm with family right now in Kansas and enjoying myself, so that's gonna be my little break. I'll probably post some tweets, probably post some Instagram pictures, whatever, but for the most part, it's gonna be my time to unwind and just relax and enjoy time with family. But going back to Narissa's questions, what's your honest opinion on fame? I think it can be a good and a bad thing, honestly. There's pros and cons to everything. Pros of being famous or popular, which I don't even like to call myself, but pros of that is you have a platform, you have an audience, you have people that stand behind what you say, and that's dope. And you guys are the best part about it. Like, that is 100% hands down the best thing. Cons wise, it can, in my opinion, social media fame can really go hand in hand with anxiety and comparing yourself to others, being insecure and stuff like that, because when you're constantly on your phone every single day and subconsciously comparing yourself to, you know, another Instagram model who gets this many likes or is posting this and you're not doing that, it's like, it can get confusing in your head, and it kind of makes you question everything you're posting, even though you should just be focusing on yourself. It's just something that subconsciously happens. So I think that's a big con, which, you know, whenever I feel like that, I just put my phone away. So if you're ever feeling like that, I highly encourage you to do the same thing. Just take a break and stop scrolling through Instagram if that's what makes you feel insecure. That's what I've been doing. And then, kind of like I said before, everybody just has an opinion on every single thing you do. So if I wasn't on social media at all, I could make the mistakes that would help me grow as a person, rather than having just hundreds of opinions thrown at me all the time, whether they're good or bad. I want you guys to sit down and try to like imagine a personal situation you were in where you only talk to your best friend, and now just imagine like thousands of people analyzing that situation. And yeah, there's a lot of people that are super helpful and give really good advice, but then there's also just a lot of people that don't know the situation at all, and it can be frustrating sometimes. But again, that's what comes with, you know, being popular or having like a social media following. So it's really something not to complain about. It's just how it is. So yeah, like I said, mental health and social media go hand in hand, especially because there's so many young people in the world right now glued to their phones and judging themselves for no reason, and that's super sad to me. So again, if you're ever feeling like negative thoughts from social media, just please put your phone away. And yeah, you can always go back to it. Just take your time, and your mental health is the most important thing. So there are pros and cons. There you go. Lindsay K12 asks, when was the last time you cried and why? Now this is really interesting because I hardly cry. I have no idea why. If I could cry, I would, but I don't. It's weird. Actually, just recently, I cried, which again is extremely rare for me. It was right after we released MetaLife, which is our platform to help people with mental health and stuff like that. And I just remember reading through hundreds of comments of how people were actually seeing like a difference difference in their lives, and how our platform that we thought about literally when I was 16 years old was changing so many people's lives. And it was just so overwhelmingly like, yes, this is exactly what we've been working towards, that it like made me tear up a little bit. And I did post a story about that, I think, but that was probably the closest I've been to crying in a long, like years, long ass time. So yeah, it was a really special moment. Summer XN asks, how do you deal with your feelings? That's a good question, because I'm still trying to figure that out. I think the best way to deal with feelings is to talk about them, whether that be to a family member or just a friend, or maybe you have like another trusted adult at school or something like that that you want to just vent to, which is totally fine. But yeah, whenever I'm feeling like down in the dumps, I'll usually go and talk to Sam and just be like, hey man, this is how I've been feeling. I don't know why. I don't know what to do to change it. But then literally just me explaining how I've been feeling helps me feel so much better. A lot of people don't know this, but in August when we won the TCAs, leading up to that, like 2 weeks before we went on stage, like we presented an award on live television, I had to take a mental break for myself just to not go crazy. Like I was feeling so anxious about the situation, and even though like there's gonna be so many of you that are just like, don't be nervous, like we love you regardless of what you do, or if you mess up, who cares, like it's not that big of a deal, which I agree with. But for some reason at the time my mind was just like not listening to that, and all I could think of was doing everything and executing everything perfectly on that day. And so it really just made me anxious, and luckily I was able to like pull myself together during that day, and I didn't really feel nervous at all. If you saw like any pictures or videos from that, I was fine. But leading up to it, like 2 weeks before the actual show, I, no joke, did not hang out with like anybody. You can ask Sam, like ask all my friends. I was a recluse. I was like a loner, and I just hung out like out on my balcony every single day, just worried and like figuring out a game plan in my mind on how I would get through this day. And it really wasn't that big of a deal. So I don't know why the hell I did that, but it freaked me out. And yeah, just wanted to share that with you. I deal with anxiety all the time. And the worst part about me dealing with anxiety is I relate it a lot to being nauseous, which is kind of gross. But like whenever I get really nervous, like I think I'm gonna like throw up or something. It's the weirdest thing. And so I guess it was just kind of like a struggle in my mind being like, am I gonna be able to like make it all day without like throwing up? Which I've never done on stage, so I don't know why it worries me. It's just literally my mind having like a mental battle with itself. So I got through it. We're good now, but ooh, that was bad. So again, to answer your question, Summer, I have no idea how to handle my feelings every once in a while. I'm still working on that too, but just talk about it, write it down, get it out into the universe, and that helps so much more. This is really interesting. Colby's Imagines asks, I think a lot of people want to know this, so I'm gonna ask, what is your sexuality? Which is interesting because there has been a lot of people that have been confused about that, and I've always been a type of person that doesn't really care. Like it's not like something that I don't know, I don't want to ever put labels on something, because I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. And I think a lot of people, when they only want to know about like who you like, who you don't like, it just doesn't make sense, because you should really just focus on how the person is as them, you know what I mean, as their personality and not their sexuality. But to set the record straight, I am straight. Set the record straight, I am straight. Very straight. I'm not gay, I like girls. I can and have made homosexual jokes, I guess, where people think that I'm gay, or some of the things that I post on Instagram might come off as feminine or gay, but again, I'm just expressing myself, and I know I'm not gay, so that's really it. MM or Heart says, what's the hardest thing you've had to go through? It's probably just overcoming the mental battles within my own brain. Like I said, when I was 15 years old, it would make me cry at the thought of like talking in front of a class, or I would even feel like I was gonna throw up every single morning before school. So like literally going from that to somebody who's an online entertainment like personality, it's night and day. And it's crazy how like I've been able to handle that in my life and get over some of these obstacles that make me feel anxious and stuff like that. So definitely just putting all my insecurities aside and focusing on what makes me happy and just doing Me. What is one thing you adore about your fandom? Well, I adore most everything about you guys because no matter how I'm feeling, I can always like go on Twitter, Instagram, and there's some of you that just know how to make me crack up. A lot of you guys are super funny, which I love. You guys have a lot of like the same humor that me and my friends have, which is super cool. And then how dedicated you guys are. Like all of the awards that we achieved in 2019 was because of you guys. It wasn't us at all. I know there's a lot of people that say, you know, we have the best fans in the world, but Sam and I genuinely think that we do have the best fans because holy crap, you guys are dedicated to us and we don't know what we did to deserve like people like you. So there's so much that we adore about you guys. Nova Koke says, what are some hard things you had to realize while you were becoming bigger with Sam? I think the main thing is fake friends, because when you get bigger or more views, more popularity, etc., there's gonna be a lot of people in your life that just show up randomly, especially way back in the day in high school. When we first started getting like a Vine following, there was so many jocks that put us down before that were now inviting us to parties, which we said no, obviously. And it's kind of the same thing in LA. Once we started like getting more views and stuff like that, we had like a bunch of random people just hit us up and ask us to share things or do collabs and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, like you've never been in our lives at all. So why the hell would we want to do that right now? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Unless it's somebody that in the past somebody's, you know, had a big effect on our lives, and yeah, maybe we'll collab with them. Or if it makes sense for our channel, yeah. But like, you have no idea how many people have actually hit Sam and I up that we barely talk to or have talked to once at a party. It's ridiculous. Like people in LA are just, I don't know. That's why there's a love-hate relationship with LA too. It's hard to find real people out here. E.isdead says, what is one thing you wish you could tell your younger self? And not to get all sad or sappy right here, but probably just to keep my head up and that everything was gonna be okay and to stop being so insecure, because guys, there was a point in my life where I felt so low about myself for no reason. Like it really didn't make any sense. And it was only when I like met Sam and really started to try to change that about myself that I started to learn to become best friends with myself and love myself. And yeah, I just wish I would have known that like at a younger age. I was very like emotional. I still am very emotional. And so yeah, just to have somebody be like, you know what, just be yourself. There's no right or wrong way to do life. No matter what personality you are, introvert, extrovert, there's ambivert, which is like in the middle of both of those. It doesn't matter. There's no specific way you need to act or be in order to succeed. And so I think just calming down, just breathing, just relaxing and knowing that everything was gonna be okay is all I needed to hear. And yeah, I'm still here, so. It worked. Molly Ferguson asked, do you want a relationship with a girl without the fans interrupting? So what's interesting is I have dated girls for long periods of time in the past without even bringing it to social media, and a lot of people don't know that. But it's just something that I like to keep on more of like a personal side of my life. Like it's fun to have, you know, my own separate career versus personal life. But at the same time, I think if I find somebody that like it makes sense to show everybody, then of course, yes, I will. And if I ever get a girlfriend for a long period of time, yes, you guys will know about her because that's a big part of my life. And back then it was kind of easier to hide. Now it's not so much. And I don't care about that. Like it's really not a big deal. So yeah, you guys will probably hear about it. Again, I'm not really looking, so I don't think anything's gonna happen anytime soon. And I hate most girls in LA, so yeah, it's probably not gonna happen for a while. Colby's Rings asks, what is your overall look on life? Wow, well, I'm a very positive person for the most part. Again, I have my bad days, or I have my days where I wouldn't say I'm depressed, but I deal with like a lot of sadness where I literally don't want to even like leave. Like I can be a loner at times, whatever. But at the same time, I've never been to a point where I want to like leave this world. Like I've always enjoyed living life and overcoming obstacles and working on myself and trying to become the best possible version of myself I can be. And so I have a really positive outlook, I would say, and I really enjoy just doing random things and making new friends and stuff like that on certain days. I usually just try to like wake up with a positive attitude saying like, let's kill this world, let's get this bread, and I don't know, be as happy as possible. But it's hard. Sam and Colby Facetunes says, what do you do when you feel lonely? Oh man, I mean, luckily being in LA with a bunch of kids my age that don't really have a quote unquote normal job is nice, because if I'm ever lonely, I can just like hit one of my friends up and then hang out with them. But usually I like just chill by myself. And like a lot of people don't believe like me when I say this, but it's like there's a lot of the times where like everybody will be wanting to go do something and I'll just chill in my room or just hang out here like doing nothing. And it's my choice. It's not because I don't want to go or like I don't like them, I don't like the people. It's literally just me being kind of like a loner, I guess, kind of like a recluse. Like I need my time to recharge, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's okay. I think most people deal with that too. Curious to see if this happens to you guys too, but all my friends like think that they did something wrong or that like I just don't want to hang out with them, and that's not the case at all. It's literally just me. It's like me being like weird. During the trap house days, for example, there were so many times where Jake and Sam and Corey would all have a bunch of people over downstairs, girls, stuff like that, besides, you know, their girlfriends, you know. And like it would just basically be a giant party downstairs, but then I'd be upstairs, literally just chilling, watching YouTube videos or watching a movie or something like that, because I'm just living my own life, you know what I mean? Like I like to have my own time, my own space every once in a while. So, did that answer your question? Oh yeah, that didn't really answer your question at all. How do I feel less lonely? If I am ever feeling lonely, I will just hit somebody up and be like, hi, I want to hang out. That's what I do. Colby's Rings again asks, do you believe in true love? I 100% believe in true love. I've been there, I've experienced it before. It's one of the most beautiful things a human can experience, but it's also one of the most hurtful things a human can experience. Trust me when I say that. When you 100% delve all of your emotions and energy into a person, it really takes over your mind, and it starts to be something that you just think about constantly, think about daily. And it got to a point, which this is really bad and I do not recommend this, but it got to a point even for me, like I was not happy unless I was with this girl, and if we canceled plans, it was like I was upset. Like it really hurt me and stuff like that. So I got to a point where it was almost like I was attached to somebody. And so yes, I do believe in true love, and I definitely will fall that madly in deep with my wife. I don't know if I ever want to get to that level with anybody else again besides my wife, but I think there's a big difference between loving somebody and being attached to somebody, because as soon as you're attached and your ego is created, all the feelings are literally thrown into one person. It stops becoming like codependent relationship and more of like an independent, like I need this person in my life. And in my opinion, that can be super unhealthy, because then you feel like you can't be happy unless you have that person. And what I've really realized in like the last 3-4 years is that you need to learn how to be happy and best friends with yourself, so that when you have that person, you can have that codependent relationship where she has her own life, you have your own life, and that's just how it is. Again, I think that was my biggest mistake when I had a girlfriend a few years back. I just kind of fell madly in love with her. It got to a point where I had put her on this pedestal where I literally just wanted to be there all the time, hang out all the time, help her with anything she was going through with life, and it came off as needy. It came off as like too much in a way, and I started just trying to live a life together instead of living my own life while still being together. There's a difference, you know what I mean? So, what was the question? Do I believe in true love? Yes, I believe in true love. Will I ever get attached to somebody again? I don't think so, because all that did was hurt me really bad when things ended, and it took me a long ass time to get over it. So like that's a whole nother reason too that there hasn't been another girl in my life, is because like that first situation affected me so deeply that I don't know if I'm ready emotionally to put myself in that situation again, because it's really painful. If you guys haven't gone through it, or maybe you have, you know what I'm talking about. Like love is one of the most painful but beautiful things in the entire world. Colby's Knuckle says, what has brought you out of a dark place? A lot of things. I think the biggest thing is actually getting up out of the dark place. Like for example, if I'm feeling, you know, really sad or really insecure, really like lethargic, tired, I just don't want to hang out with anybody, I will literally force myself off of my couch, like Guys, it's really bad since I live alone. Like sometimes all the lights will be off and it'll be pitch black and I'm just sitting there like with my computer, just like feeling sorry for myself or just like being upset for no reason. And then I'll realize and tell myself like, what am I doing? Like if I want to feel better, like I need to voice that I'm feeling upset or feeling the certain way to somebody, doesn't matter who. So then I'll usually just like talk to Sam or somebody like that and be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, what should I do? And like I said before, just talking about it helps me so much. So I recommend you trying to talk about it, or if you say, okay, I don't have anybody to talk to about it, you can write things down. Like even just getting your thoughts out of your head and onto something tangible can work wonders. So yeah, just getting all those thoughts out. You gotta release the energy, you know what I mean? As soon as you release the energy, you'll feel way better. Going hand in hand with this. I love the deep questions, by the way, guys. Holy crap, most of these are super deep and I thank you guys so much for that. Brock's Medicine says, how do you deal with your negative thoughts? If I'm ever dealing with something negative in my mind and I catch myself doing that, I will immediately tell myself in my head, like, shut up, like, what are you talking about? And think about something positive. So, for example, if I'm just like, oh, I wish I could have like looked this way, or like, I don't like the way I looked in that picture, then I'm like, then why am I looking at it? Get off that picture if I don't like it and think about something else. Like, the thing is about people, and me especially, is I'll get into this rut where I'll just notice the negative things on social media or just in my head, and I'll get like stuck in the cycle where that's the only thing I'll acknowledge, when in reality, if you really put on the front of your mind that you're gonna try to be positive and like not so mean to yourself, then you can, with practice, get better and actually accomplish that. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but PewDiePie posted a video recently called I Hate Twitter. It's right there. I really recommend that you guys go and watch that, because he basically talks about, it's not all about like hating Twitter, which I love Twitter too, by the way, I'm not saying that, but it's mostly about how people are very like habitual creatures, and you have to train yourself and practice and force a habit, like literally learn how to do something, which in this case would be positive thinking, to change that. You know what I mean? So basically he's saying nobody's perfect, you have to work at it, and being virtuous and being a good person actually takes effort. So humans are like innately negative people, and like we just kind of notice like the negative more about us because I think it hits us more emotionally. And so I challenge you guys, if you're ever feeling like those negative thoughts into your mind, just literally get rid of them as fast as you can. And whether that be doing something different, if you're sitting on the couch and you're starting to think negative about yourself, get up and do something else. Or if you're on Instagram and you start comparing yourself, get off Instagram, go to Twitter, whatever, go watch a video, whatever, go out and do something. Just do anything you can to distract your mind from what you're feeling, and that's literally all you can do. And with practice and with loving yourself and giving yourself compliments, even though it's really hard, I understand, you will get better at it and it will turn into a habit, which will therefore be a part of you forever. Colby's Rings back with a third very deep question. Was there any specific moment of the year where you felt like giving up, or that it was super hard? Definitely super hard. Like the whole teen choice thing was a nightmare in my head, which was crazy. There has been a lot of like overwhelming like work feelings where I've been like, there's no way I can do this. Like we have this we have to do, and that meeting, that phone call, and then we have to film our personal video, and then Jake wants to go film here, and then we gotta go plan out the Sam and Colby videos, like all this stuff where I've been like, holy crap, like just let me breathe. But I've never been like, I'm giving up. I've never ever said in my head like, I can't do this, because as soon as you admit that to yourself, then you're probably right. If you say, there's no way I'm gonna complete this, you're probably not gonna complete this because you truly believe that. So again, I try to keep positive, and I try to like tell myself that I got this, it's gonna be easy, and I get through it. That's what I did for teen choice. It was a mental battle for 2 weeks, but eventually I was able to just say, I got this. No matter what happens, everything's gonna be fine. And that's all you can do. Haley Sierra says, when do you want to make music? I think it's whenever I actually just get the balls to do it. See, the thing is like, I don't want to sound like anybody else. And I don't want to just do music just to release it and give to you guys. Like, I really want it to be something that I'm genuinely passionate about and genuinely like love. So I still haven't even tried. I want to go like with like a friend that I can, I don't know, maybe I'll like drink before. Demonetized, but maybe I'll get like a little drunk before and like loosen up and just test things out. Like I gotta figure out if I'm good or bad, and I definitely don't want to just release something that's like super auto-tuney. Like it would have to be like the right setting. So hopefully in the next like year or two, I will get into that. And yeah. Oh, Charming Solby with a good question. Do you think you can be yourself on camera just as much as you are off camera? So it's different, right? It's like, I believe being on camera, like it's way more entertaining to be like, what's up guys, blah, 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 and like be all crazy and energetic. And that is who I am. It's just kind of like me turned up 5 notches, you know what I mean? But then I would also say I'm being like 100% myself right now. So it's like I'm on camera and I'm being 100% myself, but it just really depends on the video and the setting. And if you guys meet me in person, you'll realize that like Sam and I are very like chill, normal dudes. Like I'm very quiet. I'm very like go with the flow. I'm definitely not all like up in your face like I can be in like some YouTube videos. So I think it's interesting how YouTubers can put on like a different face, but only this past year really have YouTubers shown like their true colors, especially, and I don't know if like they saw this at all, they wouldn't be upset with me saying this, but like especially like the Pauls do a really good job about being like the same on camera versus off, and like showing that, especially like Logan with his like huge fight that he just had. I think that was really cool for him to actually just get into the ring like as Logan Paul. Like he wasn't really like putting on like a crazy vlog personality. It was just him going, doing his thing, and showing that genuineness and realness on camera resonates so much with fans. They can like tell when you're being genuine. So I don't know. I think it's getting better in the whole YouTube community, and I think I'm getting better too. And I think this is a perfect video of me just being like myself. But at the same time, there are people that are just like, what's up? And like putting on like a skit and stuff like that, which is cool too. Traphouse_fanfic says, what is something that you wish your fans understood about you? Listen, I don't know. Like that's the thing, is obviously this is my life and I'm putting these videos and content together for you guys. And so I don't really know the way that looks to an outside person, obviously, because it's me, it's my life. I'm not like looking at myself. But I think I just want people to realize, so I don't know if you guys do or not, that like I am so normal. Like I am just as human as you are, and I go through the same stuff as you do, and the anxiety that you may be feeling or the sadness that you may be feeling or not fitting in and stuff, I feel that too. And like I said multiple times during this video, during like some awards that we've done in the past or speeches that we had to give or meetings, phone calls we had to take, I get really nervous too, and I have to like prep for that and make sure that I can handle like a certain situation and be ready for that situation. I feel like people put YouTubers on this pedestal of people that are like living this unreachable life, like we're so like much better than everybody, which is so, no, like it's so derailed off of what is actually the truth of everybody's just going through the same thing, and we're all on this planet and journey through life together. And yeah, it can be super hard for me too. So yeah, I just hope people understand that. Oh, Mystic Colby, these are all very like deep. Oh man, okay. Do you sometimes feel like you're somehow wasting your life? I don't think it's like I'm wasting my life. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I think especially, you know, with the release of Meta Life, that we are moving in the right steps of, you know, starting different businesses and helping like as many people as possible. So don't think I'm wasting my life, but there are times where I'm just like, what am I gonna do with my life? For sure, because like I'm only 22, I'm almost 23, and I have no idea how long like this YouTube thing is gonna be, even though I'm super happy doing it right now. And like I have no idea what I'm gonna be doing when I'm 30. Like I guess I'm just going with the flow and seeing like what happens and stuff. So definitely not wasting my life, still just living day by day, but I do sit down and like think every once in a while, like what's next? How long am I gonna be doing this? Like I don't know, but I'm having fun right now, and I think that's all that matters. All right, let's do just a couple more. I'm just gonna do a couple more. Let's get to the newest first comments, all right? Chase_Noel17 says, have you ever had to deal with grief? And if you want, could you tell us who it was about? Yes, I lost my grandma when I was like 4 to 6. I was so young. I remember it was a crazy, surreal moment because she was very sick. My mom's a at-home nurse, so we took her from the hospital that she was staying at, and we decided that we were just gonna have a bunch of nurses, including my mom, just take care of her in like the comfort of our home. And I remember was getting worse and worse and worse. She had cancer that like ran in her blood, so it was literally like affecting every single part of her body. It got to a point where it was so, and I'm sorry if this is triggering, I should probably say that right now, but if like any of these topics are triggering about like death or cancer, stuff like that, here's your trigger warning. It got to a point where she couldn't even speak. We had to get like sponges to like wet her lips and like have her drink as much water as she possibly could swallow for literally like weeks. And I remember one day, it was Easter, and my grandma like had written down, because that's all she could do was write, that she wanted us all to go to a church ceremony that day. I was again like 4 or 5. And while we were at church, she passed away. And when we got home, she was gone. And the only people that were there were like the other nurses and her partner. And so it was just really interesting to me how my grandma could just be going through something so hard and literally be able to push like her life until like she wanted to actually pass away. I don't know if you guys have any stories like that. I'm really curious. Like I love universe coincidences like that where you can like wait for a specific time. So if you're comfortable sharing them with me, please do. I've always found that super interesting. But yeah, we got home and she had passed away. And so I remember being like 4 or 5 and actually like seeing her in the house, like passed away and stuff. And it wasn't something that really affected me, but it has been something that I've thought about my entire life. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest like grief I've had to deal with. And last question, that was a little depressing. Sammy Antha 69 says, do you wish you could stop the fandom from being so hateful to one another? Oh my gosh, yes. If I could ask one thing, it's like, by fandom, I just want everybody to get along. Sometimes I'll open Twitter and people will be arguing about a certain something, literally so random sometimes. And all I can think to myself is like, is that big of a deal to be arguing about? Like, I'd rather people just be positive and focus on positivity. And yeah, if somebody says something dumb to you, please just block them and then move on. It doesn't help if you're negative back, because then that person just gets more negative, and negativity feeds negativity, positivity feeds positivity. So just remember that, guys. Like if you're negative back to somebody who's negative to you, it's just gonna make things worse. Not saying it's your fault. And I get that there's some people that really wanna like stick up for themselves and like argue back, which is like, I feel that, I get that, but at the same time, it's not gonna help the situation. So yes, I would love if everybody just got along. I know that's probably not gonna happen, but I have made it a personal mission in 2020 to not even like look at the hate and stuff. Like I get a lot of hate on a daily basis just from random people, and sometimes it gets to me. So hopefully I can just focus on the positive, and yeah, hold me accountable to that, guys, please. I hope that answers a lot of your guys' questions, and if you guys enjoyed me doing a video like this, I know it's kind of different, please leave a like. That's literally the only way I know if you guys like enjoyed this, and maybe in the future I'll do a part 2. But yeah, I really like to sit down and just have a one-on-one conversation with you and just be completely open. Most of my life is on the internet anyway, so if it could help one of you to know like what I'm going through or what I deal with as being like a social media influencer, then I love making these videos. That's all that I could really ask for. So yeah, comment down below what your favorite part is, or if you want to tell me a story about any of the questions or problems that I was dealing with or that you're dealing with. I want to know. And leave a like. I will see you guys next week with another video. I will be back in LA by then, so peace.